Hi, my name is David Walbridge, Associate Director at Harrison Clarke, and today we're going to discuss things you should consider when undertaking works on your residential property and how Chartered Surveyors can advise and help guide you through the process. Undertaking works of any kind in your property can be a confusing venture, not being sure where to start or where to find the right people. Fortunately, there's a solution that can clear the mist of uncertainty and ensure you start off along the right path. Involving a Chartered Surveyor as early as possible can ensure that the works are appropriate to achieve the desired outcomes, the correct notices and permissions such as planning and building control are put in place, and the works are completed and are controlled in a monitored way to ensure the quality and costs. We advise that you discuss your requirements and plans with a surveyor as soon as possible, whether that's to identify a defect that requires repair or the potential for new building works. When it comes to fixing issues and defects in existing properties where professional advice and assistance hasn't been sought, we have unfortunately seen far too many instances where unnecessary works are being completed that serve only to inflate the cost of the works and do not actually fully address or even relate to the root cause. And with new buildings or extensions being brought into the process at a later stage could often result in identifying missed issues that can cause significant delays and additional costs. If a surveyor is appointed right at the start of the process, this can ensure that the works will only consist of those that are truly required and defines these in a scope of works or specification, a critical document that forms the core of pricing, valuing and control of the works. Identifying the required permissions, whether these be planning, building control or party wall, can ensure that the works are compliant and remove the risk of having enforcement action or injunctions served against you, delaying the works, if they're still in progress, potentially dramatically increasing costs. Once the required works have been identified, these are put into a special type of list called a specification or scope of works, which confirms what should happen and where. Often accompanied by a set of drawings, but not always, depending on the complexity and type of work to be carried out. A good specification should also account for necessary things that need to be considered and allowed for by contractors outside of the works directly, such as acceptable working conditions, arrangements for safe access and health and safety considerations, important to the client under the CDM regulations, which we've discussed in another video. The spec, drawings and other required documents are collated into a tender pack and provided to a number of suitable contractors that your surveyor will be able to give some assistance in choosing. These contractors will be asked to provide a price to complete the works, as well as confirm how long they need to complete the job. A reasonable period of time is given for the contractors to price their works, and once completed, the now priced specification is given back to the surveyor for them to check, identify any errors, and formally assess and report back to you with their recommendations on who represents the best value for money or meets whatever specific criteria you may have. Once the contractor has been agreed upon, they will be informed and asked to start the preparations to commence work on site, and a contract or any specific agreement can be put in place. Depending on the type and size of the works, your surveyor will be able to assist in ensuring you have a suitable form of contract. And this will allow for a good level of control over the works, including certification of payments, control of any additional works. This allows all parties to be confident that only the works that are completed and correct are paid for, normally by assessing the completed works on site, checking to make sure that they have been done correctly and compare this against the price specification so you can be confident that you're only paying for works the contractor has truly finished. In some occasions, often for custom or bespoke items like timber windows, a deposit will need to be accounted for and paid for up front, and your Chartered Surveyor will ensure you are fully aware of this and understand and make everything as clear as possible. As the works progress, any additional work that becomes apparent when opening up or removing parts of the original building or land can be identified. These can be priced and dealt with in an orderly manner, controlling the costs and keeping the contract period under control. During the progress of the works, your surveyor will be on hand to regularly inspect the works, ensuring that they are correct and completed to a good standard. Once the works are completed, the final product can be signed off and any maintenance period started before the final balancing payment is made, depending on the terms of the contract. If you have any questions or would like to know how Harrison Clarke could assist you, please feel free to contact our friendly team on 02381 550051 and we'd be delighted to assist you however we can.